It is the Christmas season, so I decided to do a special program for today, a special episode, and share with you some of the best gifts that I've received.
Let's go. You are incredible. Your body has a purpose, your life has a purpose. You were designed to live the best life possible.
Mic check. Mic sound okay? Camera 1 good? Camera 2 good? Alright, here we go.
What's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome back to a brand new episode. You are tuned in to listen. You're not defeated. And I'm your host, David Hernandez. The goal of each episode is to help you live a life of freedom through health in a simple, smart, and sustainable way. I'm super excited because we have a very special program today, a special episode, because it is Christmas. And depending on when you listen to it, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. Hope you enjoy this time with your family and be grateful for the experiences, even as we get close towards the end of the year. There's a lot to be grateful for. And this is a season that we can celebrate life, that we can celebrate many beautiful things that life has given us, that God has given us. And it's a good time that we can join in with family, friends, and those that we love to just celebrate this beautiful gift. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the little bell so you don't miss any of our episodes. And if you're tuned in and listening on your favorite podcast station, go ahead and click the follow button so you don't miss an episode. As I was thinking, I generally release new podcast episodes on Tuesday, but this week I decided to do something different. On Tuesday, we released a brand new episode with an amazing guest that I had the privilege of interviewing and just having a conversation with her by the name of Christy Barker. She is a physical therapist, amazing woman who has really deeply impacted my life. So we released that on Tuesday, and I thought I'd do something special for this week as we get close to Christmas. Look, Christmas time is a difficult season for me. Many of you know the story of my childhood best friend. And during these times is when he and I used to spend a lot of time together. And these were the times where we would get together starting Christmas and we would decorate the house, have vivid memories of us getting all the lights out of the storage and separating them and decorating the outside of the house and putting the Santa Claus on the top and putting lights around the whole house. And it's a difficult moment for me because it brings back a lot of memories. And over the years, I've struggled with them, but I've come to a place to where I've chosen to focus on the happy moments, on the good memories that we had and that we lived together. And as much as I miss him, I know I can always lean back on these special moments and be able to just embrace the good, embrace all the funny moments, embrace all the beautiful times we spent together during the Christmas season, and be able to change the meaning of what used to be something very painful now as I have this emotion is an emotion of joy. Yes, I still do miss him. I wish he was here. But I know that in these good moments, I can still reflect our good times. And I tend to focus on the funny moments. He was afraid of heights, and at sometimes I wasn't always the best of friends or such a good friend to him, because I remember, because I knew he was afraid of heights, I'd make him go on the ladder and help me put the lights around the house, and sometimes even get him to get on the roof with me, and then scare him a little bit, holding onto his arm and making it seem like I was going to make him fall. But in all of those things, as children, as just being young and being kids, it brings a lot of joy because there's a lot of beautiful things that I can reflect on. And I thought, so what else can I bring to today's episode? So I thought I'd do something different. I haven't done an episode like this, and I will be kind of sharing more of my personal life in different episodes coming up. But for this one, I wanted to talk about gifts the best gifts, some of the best gifts that I've ever received. And these gifts have a lot of meaning to me. And I thought it would be perfect during this season that we could reflect on some of my things and then also challenge you and motivate you to start reflecting on some of the gifts that you've received in your life. Can we find gratitude in some of these gifts? Can we lean on some of these gifts to help us in times of challenging moments or challenging seasons? Can we find meaning in these different gifts that can just help us remember either a person that gave it to us or remember a specific time of our life? And if it was a memory that might bring pain, well, I encourage you to change the meaning of that. Can we change the meaning of a gift that was given to us in a challenging or a difficult time, or maybe somebody that gave it to you that's no longer with you, whether it was your grandmother or a father or a parent, a friend? But can you change the meaning and give it a grateful meaning, a blessed meaning, a meaning of gratitude, a meaning that even can honor that person and help us reflect on some of these good things and just embrace this beautiful season? Growing up, I was a fanatic of sports. I remember falling in love with every sport I could have watched at the time. And I was a child that really didn't like to play with trucks and cars, but if there were sports balls around, I was all game. If there was a basketball, I'd be the first one to run after it. If there was a soccer ball, football. I remember stories from my mom. She would tell me that they would give me gifts, and there was a really close friend of the family that she at the time worked at Tonka. And every time she would bring me gifts of Tonka trucks. And my mom would say that there would be beautiful trucks, expensive trucks, these construction type trucks, and even remote control trucks, cars, speed cars, all types of cars they would give me. And I would get them. I'd be happy for about a minute or two, look at them, play around with them. And then she'd say I'd end up throwing them and running off to go run, be active, play games, or play a sport of some kind. And I thought that was funny because as I reflect on my life and as I've gotten older, I realized that there's not a lot of things that really bring excitement that it would to others in the sense of what typical boys would be attracted to. But sports was one that I fell in love with, and I seeked it, which is what drove the athletic side of me, but also drove this desire of health. Subconsciously, without knowing, as I was being active, I was falling in love with health and what it was to be healthy. And as I grew older, I remember I would start asking questions like, how can I be faster? How can I get stronger? How can I be a better sports player? How can I be a better athlete? And in these questions, which is why I'm such a fan of asking ourselves questions, because there's power in questions. If we can ask the proper questions in the right moment, it can expand us, it can impulse us, it can drive us to find answers that can lead us to success, that can help us grow, that can help us expand, that can help us just increase in any area that we might be curious about. So as I asked these questions, there was a role model in my life that I was looking up to, that I would ask these questions to, and that was my brother. You know, growing up, my brother was very similar to me in body structure. I was very skinny, thin, athletic, but wasn't the biggest guy. I would get picked on because I was thin, because I was smaller in frame, and he was the same. Very lanky, was a little bit nerdy in the sense of how I was too. And he, growing up, because of his physique, he wasn't happy with it. He started to work out. And as I grew older and seeing him, he's 15 years older than me, so that can give you a picture of the difference there. He was a lot older, so he was starting to work out. I was a lot younger, and I would see him, and I remember he would send pictures of just his progress and how he was doing, and I became much more excited about the idea that if my brother could change his physique, that if my brother could do that, I too could probably have the possibility of doing it. So I started asking him questions like, what do I do? How can I become faster? I started playing football at 8 years old, and I was, again, the smallest player in the team. And I asked these questions very curiously in the hopes of finding answers to how I can get bigger, faster, stronger. And he started talking about nutrition, and he started talking about working out, and he started talking about things that I could do, starting to do push-ups, starting to do sit-ups, starting to do pull-ups. And I remember I was so excited about it when I started doing 1 push-up and then 5 push-ups, and then really learning the technicalities. Okay, how do I do it properly so I can get the effects of it, so I can get the results from it? And it just really took me into this passionate place that I identified. This is what I really love. And as I nagged my brother and asked questions, and I would carry his pictures with me to school, I would use it as a motivation, as an inspiration for me. I remember showing it off even when I was in high school. I absolutely loved my brother and everything that he accomplished. And one year, I'll never forget, was one of the best gifts I've received that absolutely changed my perspective and changed my relationship with myself, but also changed my perspective and my relationship with health. And this gift was a book. Before that, my dad would talk about how we get different gifts, but that nobody ever gave any educational type of gifts. It was always clothes, or it was a bunch of different things that we'd probably forget about or use them and then never gain anything knowledge-wise. And that year, my brother gave me this book, which kind of shut my dad up for a moment. But the book was Body for Life by Bill Phillips. I remember getting this book on Christmas Day. And I started reading it like crazy. Every year we'd go visit family members, and we'd drive to my grandma's house. And I remember I'd start reading it. I was listening, I sit in the back seat, just intently reading it. And this is an old book. They gave this to me. My brother gave it to me when I was 13 years old, back in 1999. It was published. And this book was a foundation piece to my health journey. There's a lot of information there. Some of it might be outdated, but what I love about it is the concept and the understanding of how we can take control of our health, of the importance of really getting to a place of understanding the value of our life and understanding the value of our body. And he does an amazing job. It's a 12-week mental and physical strength transformation book. He has amazing testimonies. Again, it is an older book. There are things that might be outdated. However, I recommend, if you want to check out this book, you can find it on eBay, find it on Amazon. I'll drop a link there in the description. If you'd like to purchase it, you can click that link and get it yourself. But it is a fantastic book because it talks about a 12-week journey that you can take on yourself to get lean, develop a healthy body, but also understand how to improve your energy and just become more confident in life. I read this book like crazy, and my brother was, well, just be careful. Don't do so many of the things in there because you're still too young. And I was listening through one ear and it would go out the other. And this is where I kind of learned a lot of the nutritional side of things at the time, which I would utilize to help my best friend as well. I would take the information that I would learn, that I would study, and then I'd relay this information to my best friend to help him through his own journey. He battled with being obese his whole life. He battled with being overweight. And I remember seeing all the sufferings that he went through. And I said, well, this is a perfect opportunity for me to share what I'm learning to help him improve his health. And this was an amazing resource that just absolutely has changed my life. So Body for Life by Bill Phillips. And in that, when I'd go visit my brother during the summer, he lived in California at the time, he had tons of books. I mean, just tons of magazines and tons of bodybuilder magazines. And the one that really impacted me was a sports supplement book that he had. And this book was a supplement book that talked about every supplement known to man at the time, and it shared the insight of like what each supplement was for. So I remember sitting there in his living room just going through the book, because I was hearing about so many different supplementations, but I was so young, I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know, was it good? Is it going to affect my body? How can I get better information that can help me to grow, to get stronger, to get faster? And at the time I was starting high school, I was going to play football. And football, going from middle school to high school, it's different. Bigger boys, a lot more physicality, a lot more strength needed. And this book was given to me by my brother, and it's called The Sports Supplement Review. Now, again, this is an outdated book, but this has so much meaning to me. And again, it's by Bill Phillips. Bill Phillips is a fantastic, renowned fitness expert. But this book gave me a lot of insight about supplementations and about things that I was curious about. And this is the third issue. I don't know if they've made any other issues after this point. I really haven't looked it up. But it talks about how to build muscle, how to get lean, how to even release weight and burn fat and things like that. So this was a beautiful gift. Another one of amazing gifts that was given to me, and there's a lot of insight that I think we can all gain from this. So this was my second gift, and a few others that were also passed down from my brother was this mass book. Remember, I was young, thin, had no strength. I was looking for every way that I could to build muscle and to get stronger. And this was another book that I just absolutely fell in love with, by Craig Stevenson. Again, these are older books. I'm not even sure if they're still available, but it breaks down, again, how a muscle works, what are the benefits of the different types of training, right? And this was a methodology that he had put together to build mass, to build muscle, okay? So this was another very endearing gift that was given to me by my brother. And then we've got this underground mass boosting methods. So you all see the trend here. You all see what was important to me at that time. And it's called Radical Bodybuilding for Rapid Growth, which is really cool. A lot of really good insight in here. And you could even see it's black and white. A lot of the workouts are still relevant today. It's so old. Look, it's falling apart on me. But this book was also a very foundational piece because this helped me to start craft my own workouts. As now I was getting to high school and I was competing in football and looking to just make the varsity team. And this book helped me structure my workouts, understand how to put them together, understand which body parts are best to work out together. And then obviously a lot of this stuff is a bit outdated in some of the science behind it. However, it's still relevant because we can gain a lot of insight from this book that can help us bring structure to our life, that can help us develop consistency, develop discipline, better yet, to help us get consistent, right? So this is a very, very near and dear gift that was given to me. And as I continued to just immerse myself in health and immerse myself in bodybuilding, the moment I started to see how a body can transform, I became fascinated with the body. I became fascinated with how a muscle could grow, how big it can get. Now, obviously, there's a lot that goes on in this particular sport, right? In this particular industry. There are a lot of enhancement drugs out there that many of these bodybuilders do rely on. And there's a lot of other not so safe methods that many of these do follow. However, I'm not here to judge them, but I am just here to look at the good behind this sport because it impacted my life still today. I'm a major fan of the sport because of how it shaped my life and how it helped me find my purpose, how it helped me even shape my identity of valuing health and valuing the care of our body and understanding that we have one life and we have one body, and it is our responsibility to take care of that body to ensure longevity of life, which is why I'm such an advocate of health. And as parents, the best gift we can ever give our kids and those around us, our loved ones, is the gift of health. What does that mean? Establishing health for yourself. You give the gift of health by taking care of your life, by having health as your foundation, by having that piece as what drives everything in your life. Because the best gift that we can give is a legacy to our kids. And what greater legacy to give them than the understanding of health, the appreciation and the responsibility of taking care of ourselves, of living healthy to ensure longevity of life, to ensure that when we're older, they don't have to suffer with chronic illnesses, with heart issues, with blood pressure issues, with liver issues, with diabetes, with cholesterol issues, with any of these health issues that today are prevalent and are impacting people's quality of life. When we give the gift of health by taking care of ourselves, we are being the example. As kids, they learn through different forms through different methods. And one of those methods is observational learning. We've talked about this in the past in other episodes. Observational learning, they're always looking. They're watching our every move. Even when we don't think they're hearing us, I promise you, they are hearing you. My wife was telling me a story about her aunt and her nephew that they were having a conversation. Her and her aunt were in the kitchen. They were talking. And her aunt's son, was in the living room, far distance away. And her aunt was talking to her and just kind of sharing how she wasn't feeling too good, how her head was hurting. She felt a little congested. And while she was speaking in a low tone of voice, her son automatically came into the kitchen, opened a drawer, pulled out some medication, and gave it to his mom and ran off. And they were both puzzled because he had listened and seen other times when his mom had been sick, she would go to that cabinet and get medication. So our kids are always watching. Children are always watching, especially during the critical developmental years, which is from 0 to about 7 years old. That stage is critical. They're learning. They're taking in and they are putting what they're learning to practice. So imagine, as a parent, if we're being that example, they see us eating great. They see us working out. They see us talking about health. They see us being that example of what health should be like. What do you think is going to happen to them? Look, it happened to me with my brother. My brother was my biggest role model. I wanted to be like him in every facet of life. And what happened? I learned, I saw, I became very similar in the context of health. Now I've taken it further than he has. He is a civil engineer, has a very successful life and career, and I'm in this field far longer than he has ever been and far more invested than he has ever been. But it was because of that. That inspired me. That motivated me. That gave me a foundation that now today I am able to give to you all in the form of information. So that's valuable. Share the gift of health. Give the gift of health. And maybe you know of somebody that might be struggling. You can do like my brother. Give him a book. Right? during the Christmas season, what better gift that we can give them, or knowledge, or invest in a program for them. Invest in a coaching program for them. It is never spending. It is always investing. Or maybe you today, if you're listening and you're struggling with your health, invest in yourself. The best investment you can ever do is the investment that you do to yourself. It brings the highest reward. It brings the highest return. We invest in cars that don't give us any return. They're depreciated the moment we drive them out the lot. We need them, yes. However, it doesn't give us the return that our health could give us, in the sense of being alive, of being active, and being around for our kids, for our grandkids, performing at our highest, feeling good, having energy, waking up strong, waking up happy, having good mental health, having good emotional health, having good nutritional health, not being sick. There's so much more return that we get out of being healthy than investing in things that literally aren't even truly investments. They become liabilities. So the next gift that was given to me, that I actually gave to myself, I was raised looking at the younger bodybuilders, at the older bodybuilders now in this time. And I would go to the store, Walmart, when my mom would go shopping, and I would just sit there in the magazine aisle and I would just read these books and look at these books. And one of the ones that I was first able to buy myself was this book right here, this magazine right here. Again, Increase Muscle Mass Fast. But it was a fantastic book because it had some of the best trainings that Dorian Yates, if you're not familiar with Dorian Yates, he's a multiple Olympia winner. I think he won maybe 6 or 7 Olympias. I might be wrong. Don't quote me. But he is a fantastic bodybuilder, known all over the world. But he had a specific training there for the back. And that's something that interests me. But also gaining 15 pounds was what I really wanted to do. So this is a great gift that I was able to give to myself, because it was something that, again, drew me to commitment, right? It led me to discipline and to keep searching on how to craft my health. So as I come to a close on today's episode, this last gift that I want to share has a very deep meaning to me because of what happened. Many of you know the story back in 2018 when I went on a mission trip to Haiti, and my life completely changed. Had I not been in the healthy state that I was, had I not had the muscle mass that I had at the time, I wouldn't be here today. Dengue fever would have took my life, together with 2 other tropical viruses. It was, I believe, 3 tropical viruses in total that would have just taken my life. I lost 60-some pounds in 11 days. And since then, I've still been battling with a lot of the secondary side effects. Been battling with nerve issues, with weak muscles, and just deterioration in my muscles and in my bone structure, which has caused 4 years for me to still be building that out. But I'm stronger than I was. I'm healthier than I was. I've got no more neck pain, praise God. I've got no more nerve pain, praise God. And things are heading into the right direction. But it's because of this discipline and this commitment that I've had to health and to myself and my body that has brought me to this place. But this next gift was given to me by a very special dear friend of mine who made me cry like a child when I received it, because it's the impact that was done, but also the significance of what this trip means to me. I've since then changed the meaning of it, because at that time, that trip to Haiti had a very painful meaning to me. And seeing this gift at the beginning didn't really help. But now changing the perspective and the meaning that I say is now the best thing that could have ever happened to me because of what I've learned and how much I've grown, I see this gift with a new perspective, and it allows me to appreciate how challenging moments can become our greatest triumph. In the same way how I lost my childhood best friend at the age of 21 to obesity, and it's become now my purpose to help people avoid them going through what my best friend went through. The same thing is with this gift. So It's going to be hard to see. It is a big gift, but I'll share as much as I can of it. So in this gift, pictures of that event or that place that I went to in Haiti. We went to orphanages, and we helped kids at these orphanages, and we went to talk about Jesus and share the mission there that God had put in our hearts, and also help them to just have fun, spend time with them, to play with them, to dance with them. I also DJ, so it was a cool experience for me to be able to, in one of these pictures, I think over there in the corner where I could DJ for them. But these gifts, these pictures here, is an incredible gift that allows me to connect. Here's one of my favorite pictures of the kids running to me and kind of just jumping on me, because at the time I was 245 pounds. I had tons of muscle, and it seems like they hadn't seen a person like that, and they wanted to hang on my arm. They wanted me to do pull-ups, or they wanted to do pull-ups on my arm. They wanted me to lift them, and it was a challenge. How many kids can he lift with one arm? And they would all jump on me, and I think I was able to lift about 7 kids on one arm, and it was just absolutely fantastic. But this here is a very special gift, and it says, life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. And this is one of those gifts. That smile. How can you not smile after seeing a kid like this? Just being joyful of life. So those there, my friends, are some of the best gifts that I've received. They have a lot of meaning to me, as you can see, and a lot of emotions go through this. But I enjoy being vulnerable with you, because you all are my online family. You allow me to connect with you, to be with you in your home or in your car or in your business place of work. And it allows me to be able to just share things that have influenced and impacted my life, and things that I've learned throughout my 16 years of being in the health and wellness space. And as a behavioral health coach, I want to inspire you to live a healthy life, to live a life of freedom through health. That is my mission. My mission is to impact 1 million people to live that life of freedom through health. And I need your help. I can't do it alone. If these episodes have impacted you, or you found value in them, please help me spread this. I want to impact 1 million lives for now. Then, God willing, we can increase that number. But my mission right now is 1 million people. And you can help me do that. If these episodes have inspired you, impacted you, have brought any insight, please share them. If you know of somebody that can benefit from them, that want to just make their life more optimal, want to be healthy, things that they might be struggling with in terms of their weight, in terms of their emotional stability, in terms of their health, in terms of their mindset, share this podcast with them. Share with them my YouTube channel, so that we can continue to make an impact together. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is always a blessing to do these episodes, because I have the gift of life to be able to do that. And more importantly, because you're on the other end receiving. Thank you for listening. If we haven't connected, or if you want to send me any questions, I like answering questions. And every Friday I answer those questions. But if you have any questions, send those to me. David@davidhernandez.co. David@davidhernandez.co. And if we haven't connected on social media, let's do that. You can find me on all social media platforms under my handle @DaveKHernandez. @DaveKHernandez. You'll find it somewhere here at the bottom. And then if you want to learn more about me, how I help, if you want to learn about my group coaching, about my one-on-one coaching, about my speaking engagements, if you want me to speak at an event that you might have, you can do that on my website. Go ahead and visit my website, www.davidhernandez.co. davidhernandez.co. You can book a conversation there, book a call, we can chat, and I would be blessed to help you and support you along your journey. Merry Christmas. Enjoy this time. Enjoy this holiday. And if you can give a gift, let it be a gift of health. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friends. Oh, before I go, Fridays, if you haven't joined my community, do so. You can click the link there at the bottom to get more information. Every Friday, free Friday trainings. Free Friday trainings. First 30 minutes, I bring a teaching topic. The next 30 minutes are to answer your questions. Join the community. You can become one of those 1 million that you allow me to impact you and bless you and just bring insight to your life and bring value. I love to give value. I'm a big believer in that, and I do that through my free Friday training. So if you want more information, click the link there in the description, and I hope to see you on. My friends, as always, thank you so much again for tuning in. You're listening to Listen, You're Not Defeated, and I'm your host, David Hernandez. My goal with each episode is to help you live a life of freedom through health in a simple, smart, and sustainable way. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Christmas holiday season. Be safe, and I will see you on the next episode. Remember, you are incredible. Go out, crush it, and live your best life.